400 homicides in Philadelphia last year.
83% of those shot in Philly are black. The city of brotherly love now facing a nearly 12% increase in homicide. City officials now calling for an increase in investments in education and community programs.
Our youth are in a crisis. They're in the middle of a war. You know, Daily UK Mail released a study that a young black male in Philadelphia and Chicago has the same stress level as a soldier on the front lines of the Afghan war.
For nonprofit Level Up, Monday's triple shooting in West Philadelphia hit close to home.
Get choked up. People wonder why I take so many pictures with them, because I don't know if I'm gonna see them next week.
Action News was there as family and friends gathered to remember a life lost too soon. 16-year-old Tyshawn Wells was an innocent bystander to a deadly crime. He died after being shot in the head while waiting for a SEPTA train earlier this month. Balloons were released outside Level Up Philly yesterday.
A gathering today to remember one of the biggest youth advocates in the city, while also remembering youth who belong to Level Up, whose lives were taken by gun violence.
Our youth in the city, they feel they have nowhere, they feel they have no one. They're suppressing everything. And then what happens? What happens when you shake a bottle? An event happens. Boom, looting everywhere. An event happens. Boom, flash mob and fighting everywhere. All of our young people have gun violence PTSD. You know, they're getting triggered.
Developing tonight, new details in a tragic discovery out of West Philadelphia. Police now say the victim, found shot in the head and left inside a garbage can, was a 12-year-old boy. His name, Hezekiah Bernard.
I cried a lot. I cried a lot because I looked at him as like my own blood.
I thought he just wasn't answering the phone, but on figuring out he was dead, they put him in a dumpster. Like, it was out of pocket.
Mr. Aaron Campbell is with Level Up Philly and says Hezekiah had been with the mentorship organization for a little over a year.
It's every adult's fear that one of their kids or even mentees is hit by the ongoing gun violence in the city.
Just 82 days into the year, Ajane quietly became the 460th victim of gun violence.
The first pop, I'm thinking it hit the metal because I heard the bullet drop. So once that happened, I instantly just froze. I ran that way and went up the steps and I kept running.
You were running for your life?
Yeah, I was terrified.
19-year-old girl gets shot 3 times, nearly bleeds to death. And there's no mention in the local newspaper, there's no mention in the local TV station.
Our young people of color are not being valued. Until we all come together and begin valuing them, this will not change. And in fact, it will get worse. There is a systemic neglect of young people of color. The schools, underfunded, overcrowded. The school to prison pipeline, that's a reality. This is my youngin' right here, Sanai. Just survived being shot in the chest, 10th and Thompson, 6 weeks ago? There needs to be change.
So how can a preacher of a modest-sized church with very cool tattoos impact any of that?
I think talk is cheap, and I just want to let the work speak for itself.
Yes, I love this pastor from West Philadelphia. He put together this organization called Level Up Philly.
Maybe they don't have a place to go or they don't want to be home by themselves. So luckily here at Level Up Philly, they were prepared.
But tonight, we're talking to those with boots on the ground about the why, how they're tackling it, and where do we go from here?
As bullets continue to fly throughout the city, Philadelphia's youth are relying more on nonprofits to keep them safe. One of them being Level Up. It's one of the largest organizations.
Level Up is a grassroots holistic mentoring program.
My friends told me last year that I should go to Level Up with them. It's really fun and it's life-changing.
We call it Level Up because we meet them where they are, but we don't leave them where we find them.
Like, you could be beefing outside of here, but come in here, I don't know how I don't do it, but everybody just a family. Like,
you can dance a little bit.
It's a stress reliever.
Definitely, Pastor. And we actually use dance to unify the city, to unify the youth.
Would you all agree with that? Yeah. That's a good stress reliever? Yeah.
everyone in Philly dances, right? Your most car-stealing, gun-shooting youngin' is also a good dancer, you know? So just by us having the dance battles here, having all of them in one space, learning from one another, you know, they're reconciling, and then they can't front when this guy from a warring neighborhood is doing his thing, and the energy's going. Before you know it, he's supporting the guy. Then they give each other that. Then he jumps in, and then that carries out into the streets.
I never forget, we had two opposite hoods in here, and it was beefing. And when they got in here, it was like a brother and sisterhood relationship. So now when they outside in the free world, it's like, dang, I can't do that because that's like my brother now.
We gather the bullies and the ones bullied, the victimizers and the ones victimized. We want to prepare them for the future, and the surest path and the path is STEM. You know, the sure path for career pipelines and future stability. So we're teaching them digital navigation, coding, video game design, entrepreneurship, using AI. We have 2 robotic dogs, and it's for the kids.
Ashanti Sanders had her first reconciliation this year.
I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for here. I could end up dead if it wasn't for here.
It brings connections, it brings family. They don't bring beef. It ends it.
It keep the young boys out the street. It's really saving the community.